Welcome to the Stree Shakti series at the Coffee Conversation Show powered by the Emerging India Forum TIF and a tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Theme is Coaching for Growth, the Leadership Lens. We have with us Sangeeta Shankaran Sumesh, a powerhouse who wears many hats from being a seasoned CFO to a sought after business and leadership coach, best selling author, global speaker, and independent director. With over 30 years of experience across boardrooms, coaching rooms, and international stages, Sangeeta has been instrumental in enabling high performance and sustainable growth for leaders and organizations alike. Her mission is simple yet powerful to create impact by driving growth, profits, and purpose, all while empowering individuals to become their best version. Get ready to explore her transformational journey, life beyond the numbers, and what truly fuels her fire. So, welcome, Sangeeta, to today's coffee conversation.
Thank you, Amir. Lovely to catch up with you.
Yeah, same here. So, let me explain you the flow. There are three rounds: professional journey, personal journey, and a rapid fire where you will be in the hot seat,
Okay,
where you have to be witty, fun, and quick, and here's inspiration, niche marketing, which will be
okay.
autographed and sent to you.
All right, lovely.
Yeah. So, friends, I'm Lion Amir Virani, host at Coffee Conversation, legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution, author of 15 books. So, my first question, Sangeeta, how has the journey shaped up and what were the key defining moments?
So my journey has been very motivating for me, and it has been a roller coaster ride because none of what I'm doing was actually really planned. So it has been amazing, and I'm really grateful and thankful for letting things happen. And under divine grace, I think everything has been made possible.
That's beautiful. So, Sangeeta, you have had a remarkable transition from CFO to coach. What inspired this pivot and how has it been?
Okay, that's an awesome question. So I have for quite some time in my corporate career, I was always thinking, it's probably I should do something on my own. And I didn't know what it was and what I needed to do. And like I said, none of it was really planned. And I was like, chanced upon coaching. And, it seemed to align well with my purpose and my values. And even when I started my journey as a coach, that was way back in 2017. I still wasn't sure if, that was the path I needed to take, or, I never actually considered it to be doing it for a full time. But then one morning I was out on a walk, and then suddenly I heard a voice, just out of nowhere. And, the voice actually told me that my purpose is to help others with their purpose. And like Steve Jobs says, when I was able to connect the dots about this voice, my purpose, my values, and then the thing that I wanted to see how I can replicate my success with other leaders. And, my authoring journey had also started. And like Steve Jobs says, when I connected the dots, everything seemed to fall well in place. And I said, okay, this is what I need to do because this is what is going to give me a lot more satisfaction and fulfillment in how I can serve and help others grow.
Wow, beautiful. So let's dive deep in conversation. Uh, let's go memories down the lane. Your role as a CFO. Uh, what changes or what impacts did you bring during your CFO days?
Oh, yes. It was a huge transformation because not just the management team had changed, but, a lot of things internally had needed a lot of oiling and needed a lot of changes that needed to be made about to make the unit a lot more profitable, in line with the group's vision and organizational values and everything. So there was a lot of work. It was a lot of excitement that was happening. And I was able to learn a lot. I was able to groom some of my people and, create the transformation, which was very fulfilling too, I must say.
Wow. So you're leading me to my next question. In your experience, what's the biggest gap leaders face when it comes to business profitability?
Okay, so as a coach, I have noticed three aspects that probably lead into this gap. One is working in silos and not partnering. The business partnering is something that's very, very important. Teams must know how to partner with each other and work towards the organization goals and values. So I think that's something very important. In fact, I do workshops on business partnering. So business partnering is one very key aspect, I would say. Apart from that, two other things would be, one is not pivoting on finance. The business is like a business wheel where each different function of the business actually contributes to your business profitability. And therefore, having the knowledge of finance will help you to pivot and see how each department or each function of the business can contribute better to business profitability. And last but not the least would be high performance leadership, because the leader is the one who's actually navigating and leading and driving the business to profits. And therefore, not just being a leader, but being a high performance leader would make a lot of difference.
Wow. Thank you for leading me. So we need a definition. What high performance leader is?
Okay, awesome. So if you were to look at the definition of high performance is nothing but achieving superior results by performing at high standards. Now, what is high performance leadership? Based on this definition, is a leader who is achieving superior results and going the extra mile. And the superior results is not just in terms of profitability and the number per quotient, but also what is important is having the ability to lead the people, right? Both as being a very good people leader as well as a business leader is what makes a leader, a high performance leader who's able to achieve the superior results.
Wow. So, Sangeeta, what are some core mindset shifts that you help business leaders embrace in coaching?
Okay, that's a wonderful question. So, firstly, I think it's important for people to realize their own potential. So, I help leaders to maximize their potential, performance, and the profits. And apart from that, how do I do and get about these results is through behavioral changes, like, for example, eliminating bias, handling work anxiety, designing their strategic growth, managing their stakeholders, the team management, time management, and not just that, like, how can they craft their path ahead for both themselves from a career perspective as well as from the business perspective? How can they really add a lot more value? And end of it, I think we're all humans. So it's important
Mm.
that we feel better about ourselves in whatever we do. And therefore, that's what I enable my clients and the leaders to see how they can feel better, and therefore they produce better results personally as well as professionally.
Wow. So, Sangeeta, you often speak about growth beyond the comfort zone.
Yeah.
What does it look like in action?
I think I'm a standing example for that because, like I said, when I was a CFO and I had already decided that I would jump into, being on my own, to be honest, I never had the courage, right? I always kept telling myself that, one day I would do it. One day I would quit my corporate career and then I would probably be doing something on my own. But I never had the courage. I did not have the guts to give up my corporate job because I think the corporate job is so plush and it spoils you rotten. And I was very, very happy in my comfort zone, and I didn't want to really step out of it. And I really had to work on myself. Once I had decided, I said, I've been telling this to myself for, like, I think almost 3 to 4 years. I was telling that, yeah, I would just quit and, get started on my own. And then I realized it was high time. I need to walk the talk and not just say. Like I said, it was very, very difficult to step out of my comfort zone, but I worked on myself. I spoke to myself. I prepared myself mentally, financially, emotionally, in all sorts of aspects. And that's what I think enabled me to take the call. And looking back, I'm really happy and grateful that I did take this plunge. Like I said, it's a lot more rewarding mentally, and it gives me a lot of happiness in seeing others succeed.
Wow. So, Sangeeta, what's your approach when working with teams that are resistant to change or are underperforming?
Right. So, this is my favorite example that I say. Now, if you were to look at any of the sports players, any of the sports, right? All of them work with the coach. The person may be the best in their sports arena, and yet they work with a coach, right? And I think, why should it be any different in the corporate world? Because you are already good as a corporate leader, and how can you get better? How can you have that extra edge and really maximize your potential and performance, and thereby, increasing business profitability as well as your own growth, right? So if you can understand and derive from these analogies from the sports world, I think it opens up a lot of things. So even for underperforming leader or underperforming teams, I say that you're probably not performing that well currently, or probably even in the past, but that doesn't stop you from being a great high performer in the future. And all it takes is for you to understand, acknowledge, channelize your energies, and be on that path of high performance. And the journey is automatic, it's magical and transformative. So all you need is to understand that. And I think that's where a coach comes in, who's very helpful and handy. A coach holds the mirror. A coach is your accountability partner. A coach is somebody who's challenging you, who's encouraging you, who's making you to think, reflect, and see what are the solutions to your challenges. And I think those are some little aspects of coaching that I really, really cherish. And I mean, not just me, I mean, so many people work with coaches, right? And I think that's the benefit and the magic of coaching.
Wow. So let's go to your next hat, being
Sure.
an author. You have authored best-selling books like What's the Finance, Where's
Yes.
the Mullah? What message were you most passionate about delivering through them? This is my first question. And for our viewers out there, how does it take to be an Amazon bestseller?
Okay. Nice to hear these questions. So firstly, I wanted, when you say finance, right? Most people say, oh, finance, it's challenging, it's boring, it's not my cup of tea, right? And I said, what if I can simplify finance? Because finance is not no rocket science, right? So my primary aim of starting to write what the finance was, to see how I can simplify finance and break this myth that finance is just too complex. So I have made what the finance, like you would see, what the finance is. It talks about easy to learn finance practices for entrepreneurs who want to achieve high performance, right? So for leaders who who want to take the right business decisions. I think
Sure.
finance is the backbone of any industry, however
Yeah.
big or small. And therefore, I have like kind of demystified finance, made it very simple, easy, and practical for people to understand. And it's more a very practical approach. So this is your problem, this is your solution, right? So that's what the book talks about. So it's basically on simplifying finance. And part two of it I would probably say is where's the moolah? Where's the Moolah talks about financial growth hacking for business profitability. So in this book, like I mentioned, I speak about the business wheel and how each function of the business can contribute to better business profitability. And so it's like kind of one built upon the other. And I always strongly believe that a business has to make money. Otherwise, one might as well do charity, right? So if the business has to make the money, what are the little different things that as leaders you can drive? So that's what Where's the Moolah is all about. And of course, my other book is called Get High, which is how to coach yourself for high performance in your work. So these are my books. And my first book is a spiritual thriller. It's called A Glance of the Unknown. But yeah, so these books is what I normally talk to my clients about, and I conduct workshops based on these books. How it became a bestseller, I think thanks to my readers. People just found it a little offbeat and different finance book, I suppose, because there were no real technical jargons or anything, So it was just very simple. And even somebody who doesn't greatly understand English can still manage to follow through because, I've used very simple words, simple concepts, and a very, very practical approach. And also, I have shared a lot of finance stories, real life finance stories of very
Wow.
successful entrepreneurs on, what were their financial mistakes? Because I believe not everybody has to make the same mistakes, right?
Yeah.
So I think it was very easy and relatable for people, which is why I think many people read it, and divine grace that it became a bestseller.
Wow. Yes. Divine blessings are needed.
Yes.
So I'm planning a panel discussion or of fireside chat with you and Sankal Bada, who is on too. He's a cost accountant and a profitability uh, management expert. I
Okay.
just did the coffee conversation. So as you said, ke bhai, it's all about numbers and all about businesses should have profitability.
Yes.
So being a cost accountant and working on business should have industry should have now profitable means reducing the cost, everything. It's all about numbers. So it
Absolutely.
will be
Absolutely.
interesting to
Yeah.
see how a CFO, a coach, and now an author, how both are contributing to their apna what do you say ye insights, having
Yes.
on this wonderful and intelligent topic.
True.
Okay, now let's go to your next hat,
Sure.
the speaker.
Okay.
How did you start being a speaker, and what are the preparations you do when you are going for at the event, the conference, and any memorable moment you had?
Oh, yes. So some lovely questions, and being a speaker, something close to my heart because, way back, I think in 1994, when I just passed out of college, I just got an opportunity to be a TV show hostess. And, I
Mhm.
just signed up and it was more fun, at that age. I just wanted to explore. And so I think for about a year, I was a TV show anchor and I really enjoyed the experience. And so even at that point in time, I never thought I would be a speaker. But I think things has its own way of, life has its own way of taking its course. And it so happened that I was living overseas and, for most of the Indian events, uh, I was the hostess by default. They said, "Oh, you've been a TV show anchor, so you have to host these events." And therefore, slowly I started getting it. That was more from a fun perspective. And even I think during my school days, I used to take part in a lot of debates and competitions, elocutions, and all of that. So I never had the stage fear, thankfully. So this happened, and then once I started my corporate career, I had to represent the organization in different forums as a speaker, as a panelist, and I had to share my thoughts and knowledge. And so it kind of the speaking aspect grew on me. And the point when I was planning to quit my corporate role and get started as a coach. So it was around that time that I got to know about professional speaking, right? And that was a big game changer for me because I didn't know one could actually get paid for speaking. So then I realized, okay, there are so many speakers. So what makes professional speakers something different? Because if you need to get paid, you need to give that extra value. And that's when I joined. I was in fact one of the founding members of Professional Speakers Association of India. And yeah, so and then we get a lot of people globally, global speakers who come and share their knowledge with us. So we know how to up our speaking skills and deliver a lot more value to our clients. So I think that has really helped me to evolve better as a speaker. And to answer your question on how I prepare, I think it's a lot of it comes from experience, from
Yes.
the knowledge aspect of it, and then the content, what exactly. So I customize my content depending on the audience, what is their requirement, and then comes your delivery. How effectively are you delivering it? Because, like these days the attention span is very, very limited. So how best can you make of the little time that you have so that you can effectively deliver your message and add value to your audience. So that's what makes professional speaking something interesting and exciting. And I love being a
Beautiful.
professional speaker.
So let's go to your next hat,
Yeah.
being an independent director.
Yeah.
So how does one become an independent director, and what are the roles and responsibilities of an independent director?
There are different avenues to becoming an independent director, but I think currently you will have to take up some exams and, firstly qualify yourself.
Yeah.
I was exempt from the exam because I've been an independent director for about 10, 11 years now. So, and therefore I didn't have to take up the exam. But having said that, it's not just the exam that matters. What is the
Mm.
value that you're going to add? There's no fancy in just saying I'm an independent director, but what is the value you bring to the organization? And therefore, I think it's very important for you to have very good domain expertise, because somebody is going to bring you on board based on your domain expertise. So how effectively can you, match your domain expertise with the organization requirements? I think that is the key aspect. So once you're able to crack it, then, these exams and, all other things become secondary, because it becomes a lot more easier. Because also, just because you are a qualified independent director and you have a certificate doesn't guarantee you a seat on the board. So it's very important for one to understand, to see how they can really contribute to the business, right? So that is going to be the key differentiator in becoming an independent director. And to answer your second part of the question on the responsibilities, there are tons of responsibilities one needs to be, having if you want to be an independent director. And more than that, I think your exposure, your liabilities, you become personally liable. So the thing is, people fail to understand. They just think it's a very glamorous, to say that I'm an independent director. But on the flip side, one needs to be aware that you become personally liable. There's a ton of responsibility, and you must know that you're not involved in the day-to-day operations of the business. So it becomes very difficult for you to get a complete picture as an independent director. And you need to maintain your independence as well, right? So that is the tricky part. In fact, I did get quite a few offers, and then I had to reject them because I felt the corporate governance was not good enough. And I didn't want to take the chance and the risk by, being associated with such companies. So a word of caution, please do your due diligence before you decide for or against joining a particular board.
Beautiful. So we did a coffee conversation with Mr. Vikesh Walia. He's a senior and started his venture board stewardship into grooming to become an independent director, the roles, responsibilities, everything. Uh, One of the things he said by an independent director is a critic of the company. I'll share the link so that
Sure.
will, and we can have both of you have
Yes,
this apna fireside chat again.
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. So, Sangeeta, who has influenced you personally and professionally, and what were the key learnings?
So I don't think there's one particular person, because I get inspired by many different people for many different things, right?
Yes.
Like, for example, you're doing an amazing show as a host. So you inspire me, holding these coffee conversations like that. Each person, I think, brings about a different flavor of themselves. And therefore, I like to see what's the best in each person. And if it's something that resonates with me, I definitely feel a lot inspired by it.
Wow. So, my last one, what advice would you give to women out there to wear multiple hats, roles so effortlessly as you're doing?
So I think it all boils down to your passion, your drive, your interest, right? And I think if you have all of this, you will definitely figure out a way how you want to manage everything and lead your life the way that you want to be, right? I think it's pretty simple. It's just up to you. It's all in your hands. And once you put your mind to it, definitely you'll be able to achieve what you want.
Wow, beautiful. So, let's go to the next round and understand Sangeeta as a person. Tell us about your family and your formative years.
Okay, so as a little child, I'm the only child for my parents, and my grandfather used to be a very famous doctor, and they were from a very, very well-to-do family. Unfortunately, my grandfather passed away very unexpectedly and at a very young age, and therefore my father had to burden and shoulder all the responsibilities of the entire family, and he was also very young at that time. My grandmother was not very financially savvy, and they had no clue about the financial situation, even though there was a lot of considerable wealth. And so suddenly the family that was doing very well, the tables turned over, and they were not as financially well to do. So when I was born, my family at that time, we did not have any luxuries. There was no television at home. There was no fridge, no car, nothing. Yeah. So we were like a very, very, humble beginnings is where we started. And I remember asking my parents as a child, because, I used to look at my other relatives and other friends. who used to have all of these luxuries. And I was like, why is it that we don't even have a telephone at home? So my parents used to encourage me a lot. They said, listen, if you want to do all this, you can, work through it and you can achieve what you want to do. So as a little girl, I always used to dream of living in big houses, driving fancy cars, foreign travel, and all these things really used to enamor me. And I think probably that is what lit the fire and the passion for me to grow in my career and achieve what I want. And I'm truly grateful to the divine for having bestowed me to fulfill all my dreams. So I think the journey has been amazing when I look back.
Wow, beautiful. So, Sangeeta, how do you unwind after a long, high energy speaking session or workshop?
All right. So I am into art of living, which is simple breathing exercises and meditation. So when
Mhm.
I'm back after a session, I love to just chill out, like probably go for a walk, maybe listen to some relaxing music, and then get into some meditation. And I think that has really helped me to manage my stress levels and help me stay grounded and calm. So I think one needs to figure out what really ticks for each of them. I mean, art of living has been a game changer for me. I've been into it for the last 20 years. And I practice
Wow.
my Sudarshan Kriya and Pranayama, everything like every single day. And I think I can really see the benefits of doing that.
Sure, yeah, yes. I've done Isha engineering.
Super.
Ne- and other things also. Apna Rishi Prabhakar's SSY, Siddhi Samadhi Yoga, and other things.
Okay,
So it
okay.
will another topic to that on a personal
Sure.
level.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sangeeta, what's one hobby or passion that always brings you joy, no matter how hectic life gets?
Like I said, it's one is meditation and the second is travel. I love traveling and I love exploring new places. I'm a solo vegetarian traveler, so I see how best I can make out of each travel. Yeah.
Wow. So what are your travel plans for 2025?
Oh, I just got back from the Balkans. I did Croatia, Montenegro, and Bosnia and Herzegovina, and probably a little more trips coming up the later part of the year. And last year I went to Russia. That was also equally exciting. And I like visiting offbeat places like Kyrgyzstan, for example, right? And it was also
Oh,
amazing. Yeah. So different places. I think the world is so beautiful, so large, and one needs to experience everything.
yeah. So as you said, okay, you're a solo traveler, a vegan one. So
Yeah.
if someone wants to follow in your footsteps, what advice would you give?
Pack your bags and leave. That's it. Yeah. So, I mean, you must be mentally prepared to live on salads and soups or, pizzas or whatever. Like, as long as you can manage. I mean, I'm not very fussy that way. As long as I get something decent, I can live on breads and salads. So it's not a problem. So just be mentally prepared. And if you're really fussy, definitely you can, pack yourself some achars and teplas and kakras and whatever else to see how you can sustain yourself. But it's pretty simple, yeah.
Wow. So how do your friends and family describe the Sangeeta outside of work?
I think people find me very lively, full of fun, full of life, and a lot of laughter.
Wow. So what's one tradition or value from your family that you continue to hold dear?
I think during Navratri in South India, we have this tradition of keeping golu. That's like basically you arrange the dolls. A lot of it is like the divine dolls, different gods, and then there's a story behind it. So it's a tradition that's been carried on for quite some time, and I didn't want to break the tradition. So I do that, and just to make it a little more interesting and spicy, I come up with different themes each year. I make it under different themes and relate how our history and how the stories that are there, be it from Mahabharata or Ramayana or any of these things, and related to the current day time and age. And I also like happen to win some prizes in that, because here it's quite popular and a lot of different people keep some contests, so it's more like soul satisfying, I would say, and to keep up with the traditions.
Very wonderful. So what are your plans for 2025 personally and professionally?
Oh, quite a bit. So this hopefully next month I should be getting my doctorate. So yes, yeah, professionally, I would
Congratulations.
say that yes, that will be another milestone in my career because I did it for two reasons. One is my mom has always wanted me to obtain a doctorate, so it was to fulfill her wishes, and also I thought I could add a lot more value to my clients by doing so, and I think it'll become a lot more meaningful. So next month is when I hope to go for my graduation and get my certification done, the doctorate done. So that's the professional plan for this year. Personally, I don't know. I mean, probably like chill out a lot more with my daughter and go for trips together with my daughter because both of us love traveling. So yeah, maybe that.
So, what is it, your doctorate you're doing all about?
It's on high performance leadership and its influence
Oh,
on financial growth in corporates. So I said, if I
interesting.
can combine my finance background, my leadership experience, and my coaching skills, what can I really add more value? So I said, that's how I work with my clients as well. And I said, if I can dive deeper and do a lot more research into it, it's going
Yeah,
to really open up a lot more doors for my clients. So that was the idea behind it.
that's inspiring. So, in your LinkedIn profile, you write the gain enabler.
Yes.
Can you just walk us through, okay, what do you mean by
Yes.
this?
So that's the one liner about me, and it's my brand moniker because, like I said, my mission is to see how I can add value and, give gains to others. The gains, not necessarily financial gains, even non-financial gains, because behavioral change is non-financial, but then it leads you ultimately to financial changes, right? So I said, what is the value add? How can I contribute to the growth and success of other people? So that's why, in fact, all my social media handles, you'll find me as the gain enabler because
Yeah,
that's something close to my heart. And I feel that's my mission and my purpose to see how I can uplift people around me.
that's beautiful. So, you regularly write on LinkedIn. So, how do you decide what topic and how do you go about it?
Okay, so there's no secret formula out there. It's just currently whatever is happening, in the sense either professionally in my life, or it could be about a coaching conversation or some particular topic or an incident which I feel could be insightful or thought provoking or inspire people. So, any of these things, a combination of this is what I think I keep posting.
Beautiful. Because morning only I saw your post on the bias thing,
Yes,
the coaching
that's right.
conversations, and one of the coffee speakers, Sudhi Pathak, commented. I'll also do later because I
Yeah,
follow not only coffee speakers and comment, I follow other influencers, content creators from different verticals areas. So that
lovely.
is a way, if you add comments that comes from your personal experience,
That's
so the
right.
conversation becomes more depth and the article gets a more wider reach.
Absolutely.
So,
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And I like
so
spreading knowledge and, see how people can get benefited out of it.
the coffee conversation, same thing. It is IP of content. One of the
Yes.
coffee speakers uh, shared about that.
Yeah. I think you're
So,
doing an amazing job out there.
thank you. So we'll be crossing 500 episodes by this month. Five
Wow.
years journey, 500.
Superb.
Okay. So my last two questions,
Yeah.
which are little reflective and googly ones. As this is Sri Shakti series, what does Sri Shakti mean to you?
Oh, okay. I have a slightly different take on it. I think, firstly, everybody is a Shakti in themselves, irrespective of the gender, right? So you are your Shakti. So once you acknowledge the power in you, you're already a Shakti, right? And the three aspect of it, I think, is probably more from an emotional and spiritual perspective that adds a different flavor to it. So I think once you are able to acknowledge all of this and see how you want to grow, I think the seed is already planted. So it's up to you to see how you want to nurture and grow it.
Beautiful. So describe Sangeeta in one line.
Oh, the gain enabler.
Beautiful, smart thinking. Thank you. Okay. Let's put you in the hot seat, the rapid fire round. Your
Yeah.
go-to comfort food.
Oh, oh. Desserts.
Wow.
I have a sweet tooth. Yeah.
Finance books or fiction books?
Um, both.
Wow. Chennai beaches or mountain retreats?
Chennai beaches. Beaches, I mean, not just Chennai, beaches. I love beaches.
Wow. Leading a boardroom or hosting a workshop?
Both.
Your favorite color?
Red. You can see me in it.
I
Yeah.
can see it on your profile also, your DP everywhere. Wow. Early morning yoga or late night journaling?
Early morning yoga.
Wow. Uh, Favorite cuisine from Chennai?
Oh, lots of them actually. The South Indian thali is, I think, really awesome because it has different variety, different flavors, and yet it doesn't make you feel as heavy even after a hearty meal. So yeah, I think the South Indian thali is really nice.
Yes, because I'm also South Indian. I'm
Oh, lovely.
Telugu by birth. So my birthplace is Warangal, Telangana now.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
But now become a Mumbaiker. Okay. Speak in front of thousands or coach one on one.
Oh, I love them both.
A mantra you live by.
Values. What are your core values and live by them?
Uh, Best piece of advice received.
Um, somewhere in the mid part of my career, one mentor of mine had said that has really stuck on with me was, if somebody throws a hot potato at you, you're not going to be holding on to it. You are going to pass it on. So, it was in context of a whistleblower. Being a finance professional, there was something that was not so right. And I was new to the organization at that time, and I quite didn't know how to go about it. And, I thought this piece of advice given by my mentor at that time was really very, very useful. And, it enabled me to take quick action. So the bottom line of the message is, if there's something urgent and important, don't just sit and hold on to it. See what
Mm,
actions you can take to overcome it.
beautiful. Last one. Coffee or coconut water?
Coconut water. I know I'm being a South Indian, I don't drink coffee. It's quite strange, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
the choice
it's
is mine.
reasonable.
Yeah, cheers to that. Yes.
Mm. So you did well, and here's a book which will be autographed.
Thank you so
So,
much.
friends, lovely conversation on a Saturday afternoon. So all those viewers out there, especially the women one who want to be superwoman achievers, wearing multiple hats as Sangeeta is doing, watch this episode and get inspired. As she has been a CFO, coach, speaker, author, and now an independent director, and a recent one, which will be
No,
now
not
she
a
will be
recent
known
one,
as,
not a recent one from 2015.
sorry,
I've
oh,
been an
independent
independent director from 2015. Yeah.
and now she'll be called as Dr. Sangeeta. So a PhD, that is wonderful. So all these coffee speakers inspire with their journeys from professional, personal, and watch, get inspired. And if you have any featured like Sangeeta, visit our website, the Emerging India Forum or LinkedIn page. Our team will invite you to have coffee conversation or connect with these 450 coffee speakers. They will put in a word, invite you to have coffee conversations. So take care, and we meet with another coffee speaker. Thank you and enjoy your Sunday.
Thank you. See you. Bye bye.